Hi, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of the series of base accounts for vibe coders and experienced developers. And today we will talk about sign in with base. So how can you authenticate your users using base account? It is very simple, you will see. But before that, before we go to the implementation phase, I wanted to show you how does it look. And so with sign in with base, you can use some of the helpers that I'll show you later, some of the new RPC methods that we have that are very, very cool. But also you can use the already built-in or built buttons within the SDK. And so we already have a button there, component that you can bring, which is sign in with base. You can use it in light mode, as I'm showing here, or you can use it in dark mode, as is integrated here on the Elza website. And let me show you how it looks. So if you're an experienced developer, you know that before sign in the message, before the sign in with Ethereum message, you needed to connect the wallet. With the new RPC method that I will show you in a bit, you don't need to do that. And so we get this window right as you click to sign in with base, where you can actually sign the message. And so this is one part of it, or it could look also like this, right? And you are signing a message on this case. And yeah, so you will see here, you can view the message that you're signing when you click, which is pretty cool, but it's hidden for your user. And so if you do this, there you go. So yeah, this is what's cool about using the sign in with base button. It allows you to do both at the same time, at the same step, right? And so how does this work? Let's take a look at the code here in the guide. If you go to the implementation, you will see we have some chain switching here, which is done just like provisionally to make sure that we are on the right chain. But then you can see the wallet connect RPC method. And if you go to the provider here in the reference section, you can see the wallet connect method. You can see the types and such of whatever is usually exists in a reference. But this actually is an EIP that we're trying to push. So there's a ERC 7846, which is in the works. The authors are, Connor, Jake, Lucas, shout out to them. But, this is not finalized, but this is something we're trying to bring to the overall Ethereum ecosystem. So yeah, just going a little bit more into the details of how this works. So if you are curious, I would 100% encourage you to dive into the Wallet Connect method here in the provider section, but also take a look at the ERC. And if you are part of the wallet ecosystem or the Ethereum wallet ecosystem, please reach out. Would be happy to kind of work with you to bring this also forward, and so that the community lands on a standard that everyone likes and agrees with. Moving on to the implementation, let's take a look at what exists here in the guide. So there's this implementation. We also show you how to create an Express server. And you can also use the sign in with base button right away. So let's see. How can we do this? I created a cursor folder here. I called it, sorry, it's not a cursor folder, it's just a normal directory. It's called sign in with base example. And I will prompt the agent to integrate it. So a reminder for the format of this video, the first part is going to be integrating it using vibe coding, like just kind of prompting the agent, just to show how easy it is. And the second part, we will try to actually implement it manually. And so I'll take a minute here to kind of write the prompt without taking from the time of the video, and I'll be back right away. So here we are. I drafted this prompt here. What it says is, I want you to use this guide to create a Next.js app which shows sign in with base button using the UI components from the SDK. So we're going to be using the UI components from the SDK directly. We will also, set up a custom sign in with base using the implementation that is shown within the doc. So we want the agent to also implement a second sign with base button, not using the UI component from SDK, just to show how that works. And then we will be using the Next.js edge function for ease here to verify the signature on the backend side. And I'm saying don't put anything in the app. All you need is this guy, just to make sure that, the agent is not going to be getting some uh, other blockchain providers or like integrating some other wallets, because sometimes agents have a tendency to do that when they're building blockchain apps. So I'll let it run, and I will get back in a minute after it ran and show you the results. Let's see. So the agent is actually done integrating and implementing here. Let me actually run an npm install and npm run dev to see if this works. Looking at the code, it seems to be fine, but we will take a deeper look and see if there are any errors here. One thing that I changed is in the package JSON, it put one older version, and I changed it to latest just to make sure that we are getting the latest implementation and the latest features. And so let me run npm run dev here to see if this works. Let's see. Moment of truth. And let's click sign in with base. There you go. This one works. Confirm, signed in. Okay. The nonce piece doesn't seem to be working perfectly. I'll verify and get back. Okay, so there was an issue with the nonce route. It was actually being used twice, or the non-store. So this non-store obviously is, stored locally. So if you're going to production, you would need to create a Redis database or like any other form of database to store these nonces for your authentication. But I've literally just gave the agent the error, and the agent fixed it by itself. And so looking at the implementation here, let's try it again, and let's try to sign in with base. And there you go, signed in successfully. The verification works for both implementations. This is how you do it with AI. Now let's try to do it manually. I will reset the project and I will do it manually myself. All right, let's do this. Let's start by creating a Next.js. Let's type npx create next app at latest, and then the project name, let's call it sign in with base example manual. Yes. Yes. Why not? Should we do the source directory? No. Let's do the app router. Let's do TurboPack. Let's just go with all of the default settings. And let's let it cook. Okay, so now that the app has been created, let's navigate to it. Sample manual. And let's open cursor. All right, here we go. So now we are trying to do it manually. Let's see. We have this page here. The first thing that we need to do here is, following the guide, we would be using the base account SDK. So that means that we want to install the base account SDK. First, let's install all the dependencies. Okay, so that's been done. Now let's install the base account SDK. Perfect. And if we want to integrate the base button, so the sign in with base button, we want to install the base account UI SDK. So let's do this here. Awesome. So now that we have both installed, let's actually run this project and see how it looks like today and what we can change. So now what does it look like, the initial Next.js? So this is your usual initial Next.js app. Let's start making updates into this. I will write some code um, just to kind of like not make this video too long. I'll pause here. I'll write some code. We'll be back to review the code. And so I wrote some code here that's like very simple, just copying basically what exists on the guide uh, on the front end side. So as you can see here, really, the code is very similar to what we have with some very simple buttons here. So nothing as elegant as what the AI agent suggested. And on the API side, also incredibly simple, just like verifying the message using VM and then getting a fake nonce here from the API. So really nothing complicated, and I will maybe share this code in a gist file, but it's really so simple. There's really nothing new or different than what the guide suggests. And so let me come here and take a look at the app that was generated. Again, the button is very simple here, so there's no styling, and I'm not even showing the result. I am simply looking at the response that the API gives, and it seems to be able to verify the message. So as you can see, for both using the AI agent and using the manual flow through the guide, the creation of the sign in with base button and also the authentication process is pretty simple. The only step that's missing here is kind of having a database where you store the nonces. Let me know in the comments if you want to see something more advanced like that. We could do another video to show how you can actually do a real complete authentication experience for your users. If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, any feedback, make sure to keep them down there in the comments, and let me know what you want to see next. See you soon.